So today I'm gonna do a hair tutorial for you. We're gonna do some loose waves. So I'm a hairdresser, for those of you who don't know. I've been a hairdresser for about 10 years now, so I'm in my home-based salon right now. So I'm gonna do a little beach wave tutorial for you, what I find is quick and easy, because I think being a mom, and for all the moms out there, it's not always, like, you don't always have the time to do like a perfect hairdo. So I'm gonna teach you the quickest, easiest way. And if your hair holds a curl, it should last you a few days, and then you can just style it different every day. So that's what we're gonna do today. So let's get started. So first, what I recommend is getting your hair dry. So I usually, because I have kids, I'll usually wash it like the night before. If I have somewhere to go or I'm working, I wash it the night before or the day before, let it dry completely so that it's ready to go and I can just pop this curl in. So I think premeditating when you want it done for, have it washed so you don't have to worry about blow drying it when you're in a hurry. That is key, 100% key. Like, you have to get it preset and then you'll be golden. So anyway, so for today, because I had washed it last night, but it was a little bit damp still this morning, so I went to bed with it wet, which I know a lot of hairstylists don't like. Being a mom, it's easier for me to shower and wash it at night. So for me, that's what I do. If I can do it early enough where I'm not sleeping on it, obviously I prefer that, but sometimes that's not how it goes. So today I used my blow dryer curling wand, I guess you would call it. Totally escaping like the proper term for it, but I love it. I highly recommend this for you guys. Please do not use this on soaking wet hair. Either let it air dry, I would say 80% of the way, or get in there with a regular blow dryer and a round brush or anything like that. I would not be using this on soaking wet hair, okay? So use this more when it's like a little damp, pretty well dry, more as a smoothing situation than a full out blow dry, okay? So that's what I used today to get it all dry. And just basically I wanted to smooth it out so it wasn't really kinky. And I'm gonna be honest with you, some days I don't even do that and I go with the messiness at my root because I have a little kink to it. So sometimes I'll go in and curl it, and I kind of like when it has that because it looks a little bit more casual, more lived in, more wavy. So that's always an option. So I'm gonna section my hair in 3. So I'm gonna go from ear to ear. So that's gonna be my first section. Okay. We're gonna go there, we're gonna clip this out of the way, like so. Let me do that better, hold on. And I just dropped my clip. That's okay. So just sectioning my top hair out of the way. I'm gonna clip that up. And then, so it's sectioned from ear to ear. I'm gonna break that in half in the back. Not sure if you'll be able to see, but in half. Hopefully you're able to see that. So I'm just sectioning it in half. So it's like pretty well even. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I think that's the best part of waves, is that it's casual and it's not perfect. You don't want it to be perfect. So I'm taking my curling iron. It's an inch barrel. Personally, I like using an inch. I don't like to go too much bigger than that. I find if you go too big, then it doesn't hold and it basically falls out right away. I would rather make bigger sections in the hair and use the same barrel than go up. But again, this all depends on how your hair holds a curl. If your hair holds it extremely well, you might be okay with a bigger barrel. If your hair doesn't hold it at all, you might want to go a little bit smaller, so then it will hold a tiny bit longer. So because I want my sections big, I'm going to take this whole section here. So I basically split these in half. Okay, we're going to put it in. I'm going to open up. I always put it in, I slide a bit, and I'm twisting it up like so, up my hair, and I'm kind of pulling as I do it. But I always leave, like, this is about, I would say almost 2 inches at the end. So I want to keep that straight, which is another reason why blow drying it first is good. It smooths that out more. So I'm just gonna hold that for a second, and then I'm twisting out and I pull it through. And if you find your ends get kicky, you can just kind of do a little doop, like a little doop through the ends to kind of straighten it out. So a key here is going to be to curl away from your face. Sorry, I got distracted. So you always want to curl away from your face. That's how I personally like it. Again, this is something that you can change and make it into like what you want. So we're twisting and we're pulling. So that twisting and that pulling action is really what loosens it well, but also keeping a straighter end here at the root. You want like at least a couple inches and a couple inches from the root that you're not putting the curling iron near, so it doesn't get too tight. So then our next section, I usually kind of go from the temples. If I'm really in a hurry, I'll actually only do 2 sections and I'll do them like even bigger, which sometimes works out, but I find that falls out really quick. So if I'm gonna take the time to do this, then I want it to kind of stay. So the same thing, I kind of just go down and part it and pull it forward. And then once you do that, so basically my head split in half here. I have some on this side, some on this side. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna split this in half as well. And those are my sectioning. So they're super big sections, but I like that because it gives it more of a looser look. I would say this section's a tiny bit smaller than this section, but that's what's gonna give you that super loose look. You wanna have big sections, especially if you're using 1 inch, because the smaller the barrel, the tighter the curl. So this is where we can kind of adjust how tight it's gonna be. So again, we're gonna go in, curling away from the face, I'm twisting and pulling, kind of smoothing at the same time. Again, I'm leaving like a good couple inches there, couple inches here. Don't mind if you can tell, I really need to do my color, so it's probably like noticeable on camera, so I apologize. And then I'm just gonna twist and pull. Okay, now this section, I like to do it forward. So this was away from the face, away from the face. This back section, I'm gonna curl forward. The reason I do this is just to give it, when you see it come down the back, it gives it just a variation so it's not all curling the same way. Well, so anyway, so I'm putting it in. Now this time I'm curling towards my face, but doing the same motion. Twist and pull. Just kind of moving it out and then leaving this bit out. See, same couple inches there. Just hold it for a second. You want it to get warm. You don't need it to get super insanely hot, but you want it to be, like, you want it to work. So twist and pull, and that pull smooths out the ends without it going too curly. If you leave it bent on the ends, then you're gonna get a curl. So same here, we're gonna split it in half. So this front section, we're gonna curl away from the face, twist and pull, right? And you can open it a little bit here and there. And I feel like it's okay if there's a variation on how straight the ends are, because that also kind of gives it a more natural look. But just make sure there's always some, like it's not curled right in the curling iron. I think that's the key. So you can also kind of do this with like a wand. That's another way. So this one, again, we're gonna do this one towards the face. So I only really have one section that is coming towards my face. The rest are all away from the face. Like so. This part takes the longest, honestly. It's just making sure, especially when you take big sections, it can take a little bit for the heat to get through it. But I prefer that no matter what. Okay. So now you want to go just wherever you part your hair. If you part your hair in the middle, go middle. I like to do it where it naturally falls. So what I do is I push it back, push forward, and I go with where it's kind of falling on its own. The reason I do that, I know middle parts are so trendy, but not everybody's hair wants to go that way, and that doesn't suit everybody. Keep that reminder. Do what suits you and what makes you feel your best. Okay, that's my main thing. My main takeaway. You're beautiful. do what you feel you're most confident, not what people are saying is trendy. Because yes, trends are trends, but you feel you're most confident in a certain way and you go with that, right? So anyway, so I'm gonna split this in two. This is my side. Because I part on the side, this side has a little less hair than this side. So we're gonna do this one in two. And I really gotta do my roots. We are going to curl and twist. Now, because I have shorter pieces around my face, I don't tend to hold this one on quite as long, and my little front pieces tend to kind of fall out, like so. Pull it out, and then sometimes I have to like perfect. I actually think that was okay. So we're gonna do another one. Here. And then twist it, right? Sometimes I'll just take out my front piece, see how loose it is, because sometimes I want it to be higher. Sometimes I like it low. So it just depends on where you're at and how the length of your hair. Like so, okay. Now this side, I have more hair on this side because I part it on the side a little bit. So we're gonna pick up all that hair. So I'm gonna do 3 sections on this side. So you just kind of have to do it based on how your hair is. So I'm doing my back section first. Now this top section I'm doing all away from the face, right? So I'm kind of in need of a haircut. So obviously if you have a fresh cut, it looks even more beautiful. So if you need a cut, go get a cut. That's my thing. It really does make all the difference. There we go. So you can see how I'm kind of tilting it like this a little bit. I find that helps with the way it sits. If you curl it this way, then you get a weird kind of kink to it. So kind of have it pulled away so you don't get like a really weird situation. And so my last one is my bang. So same thing, I kind of tilt it down so it's not getting like a weird kinky situation. Otherwise it just kind of sits weird, which nobody wants. Okay, so that's it all curled. So the main thing to remember if your hair doesn't hold a curl, you need, when you're curling it, you're heating it up. So you have to let it cool. If you brush it out too quickly, then it's gonna like set looser, which is good if you hair holds really a lot, like you wanna play with it in that way. A tip for letting it stay if you don't have like hair that holds well is to kind of let it sit and let it get to the point where it's cold. So when it comes off the curling iron, it's gonna be super hot. You want it to get nice and cold and curled. Or sorry, cold. Blah, 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 blah. You want it to get cold, which means it's set. So then what I do is I'm taking my wet brush and I'm gonna brush out my curls, like so. At first you might feel like, oh my God, it's so fuzzy, but we're gonna fix that. So you're just kind of brushing it out, which loosens it. Right? So you're gonna brush it all out like so. Brush, 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 brush. Brush. Brush, brush, brush. Get all the things up. And then, okay, so a product I like that's like my go-to is this Bedhead After Party. So it's perfect for smoothing down if you get like a lot of frizz on your ends. Just takes it down. You only need like a pea size. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna go on the ends first, like so. So I'm just working my hands through it. Like so, and then once I got a little less on my hands, I'm gonna bring it up. You don't wanna go on your root with like all of it, because then you're just gonna get greasy. And then I just take, like I have nothing left, I'm just basically brushing it out. Again, I like to let it go kind of wherever it wants to and just play with it a little bit. And then once you find it, like, you just piece it out, separate it if needed. My bang always gets a little bit fuzzier, so put a little extra through that. It's okay to like separate it a little bit. And if there's pieces you find are too curly, just run the flat iron through it and it will break it up. But again, because I know it's gonna fall, I don't worry about it being like perfect. So anyways, so that's it. So you can see there. So there's my loose curls, and I'd let it, this would probably honestly last me a couple days. So I would curl it like this. Tomorrow I would wear it basically how it's slept in, because it always kind of keeps a bit of a curl for me. I might pin like one side up or like a half up type of thing, like depending on how it's looking. And then I wear my hair up for 2 days. So I only have to do this like every 4 days. The curls, it's just such a gorgeous, I will rough it up a bit at the root. It's just such a beautiful curl. Right? Isn't it gorgeous? So anyway, so that's how I curl my hair. It's a super quick tip. I think that maybe took me 15 minutes, if that. Again, remember, if you wash it and dry it the day before, then curling it is quick. If you have to blow dry, it always takes a tad longer. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I hope that helps you get that beautiful curly wave whenever you need it. Bye, thanks for watching.